Hello, thank you for tuning into my current pick a read selection. The question for this one is, what can I do to help make this happen? And for this one, for the Oracle cards, I'm going to use the Archangel Michael Sword of Light Oracle by Bradley Valentine, illustrations by Echo Chernick. Here on the back, hopefully you can see it, is the bradleyvalentine.com. If I could bring it a little closer, you can see it, hopefully. It's on the end. It's at the end of that paragraph. I hope it's focusing, because it doesn't look like it's focusing to me. And there's some on the inside here. In case that's not working, I'll do the inside ones here too. Right there. It doesn't seem like it's focusing, but maybe it's just because I'm not seeing it. It doesn't look like it's focusing. Maybe I got it too close. There we go. Hopefully you can read that if you're interested in those. It's bradleyvalentine.com, and there's a couple Hay House websites. The next one, I'm using two tarots. The first one is the Ghost Tarot, artwork by David. It looks like David, but there's an E at the end, so I'm probably saying it wrong. Cozy. And that's a Los Garebo tarot. Hopefully you can see that information if you want to find out more information about this deck. And the last tarot I'm going to use is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. And here is the website information for that. It's at the end of the paragraph with her picture on it. Chris-Ann with an E.com. And for the dice I'm using, I got them from the dice shop at mathartfun.com, which hopefully you can see that on there. Hopefully this isn't too fuzzy for you guys. I use the 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool. 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and then I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element for the minor arcana. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Of course, please feel free to check out any of the other videos I have on my channel. I mostly do astrological ones, like for Pisces or Cancer or Scorpio, stuff like that. And now let's get into your selections. Okay, so here are the three choices. The first one, pile one, is going to be this glittery heart. I think it's marble. I think it's kind of like painted with the glittery stuff. That, I don't remember the name of that stone. It has a little cut in it there. I can bring it up to the camera more if you want to see it. It's the star, so that's number 2. I guess I'll show you that one too, just in case you wanted to see it. This is the heart. And the final one will be the pumpkin with this little cream slice in it. Reminds me of pumpkin cheesecake because of that little creamy slice. It's a rock. I forget what you call that rock too. So there are your three choices if you want to take a minute and kind of think over what works for you. You might want to pause the video here. Maybe that would be easier. Just pause the video, decide what you want. Of course, keep in mind, after you do one of these, if you're looking for more information, you can email me for a reading, or you can go look back on my channel, pick out a random video that corresponds with your sign or the sign of somebody else you're dealing with on this situation, and you might get more insight. Let me know in the comments if that happens for you. Alright, so I'm going to stop it here, and then we're going to go into the first one, which is this glittery heart. Okay, for those of you who went with the glittery heart, I'm going to do a middle line for what's just happening in this situation. I'm going to move you down there. And we're going to do what's going on your side, what's going on the other side. And that's a question card, I'm noticing that. I think we got too many out here, so let's just read what we have, because for what I have here, see if I can spread these out a little bit better. So we got a bunch going on here. This side is what could happen for you. This side is what you're dealing with, like what's happening on its own. Like if you're dealing with a person, this is their contribution. This is just how it's meshing up in the middle, how you're coming together. And I'm getting here, whatever this is, you're looking to make something happen, and the communication is, it's a little bit in question in the sense of like something might have been slipped your way, or you might have information that maybe the other side or the situation did not intend for you to have. And now with your energy here with the Ace of Pentacles, which if I pick up this card, your energy here with the Ace of Pentacles, you have the ability to make something happen. I'm also getting from the other side that the other side is not moving forward. So if this is a job, for example, and you found out that there's maybe a promotion or an option or a new unit opening or something like that, that energy is not naturally just going to come towards you. What I'm getting is that's something you've gotten the information, you weren't intended to have it, but it could be something you could build from. It may be where the other side has not realized how much potential you have for this connection. That happens a lot in life, you know what I mean? Where you may realize there's possibilities here, but the other side does not realize that you could match up with this. So the other side is not connecting in a way that they see the value in this connection for you. So you're looking to find a way to make this happen, right? How can I help make this happen? The way it's currently started out, I'm getting that there's kind of like a stalemate energy here with the Eight of Swords. It's kind of like nothing is moving forward, and it may look like because neither side is really moving that nothing can happen, but you have the potential to move forward. Just because the other side is not moving forward on its own doesn't mean nothing can happen. The next phase coming in here, what is that? I want to say that's Judgment. Judgment is coming up very soon. So if something is going to move forward in this situation, for anything to really happen here, to make this happen, you're going to have to kind of push it forward in a positive way. Especially with that Nine of Swords, be careful of how you move this forward if you decide to. I would get mostly that you want to do something with communication. Be very careful how you communicate. Make it very positive, very open to what you actually want from the situation. The Judgment card is saying whatever you do to move forward will be used against you. So make sure it's very positive. It will create stress for the other side and possibly you, just to be fair, is what I'm getting with this Nine of Swords. Whatever you do, it's going to be scrutinized. But it does have a chance to move it forward. You'll notice you started with the Ace of Pentacles over here. This is you handing that pentacle over to somebody else. That's the Queen of Pentacles. And for that to have a chance, it has to be very careful and concise. I would get right to the point. I wouldn't put too much, however much you normally communicate, I would make it as short and sweet as it realistically can be. So if you're a person that likes to write, for example, and you're going to send an email, maybe you normally would write a full page. I would make it like maybe a quarter of a page. Like bring it down to like a quarter of what you would normally do. You know what I mean? Make your point, make it short and sweet. There will be a little bit of stress here. There will be some energy that comes back to you that gives you some honest feedback. The question is, what do you want to do with that? Because you got the Chariot coming in. This is when I say cards are half in, half out. It depends on what you receive, but it depends on what is said to you, what you're going to do with it next. You have the ability to lock in with this, but it's going to be really it's going to be very dependent on you in the beginning to make something out of it. In the very beginning, I feel like it's going to depend a lot on what you do. So you're going to be kind of the life support energy in this situation. Then I see this Ace of Swords coming in where more communication is going to be necessary to keep it going. You did get 2 Oracle cards, or 3 actually. I didn't realize it was 3. You are ready for this. That's one thing they're saying. So if you want this, you are definitely ready for this. What's this? Trust that this may not be exactly what you want. Trust that just because you can have this doesn't mean you have to settle for it. So if you keep going forward here, and you're like, right now I want this. Right now I want to make this happen. But you get this far and you're like, oh, I'm starting to, I don't know. Some of this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. It looks like it's good, but maybe this isn't exactly what I want. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. If you get that far in and you're like, you know what, I really decided I don't want it, then let something else come instead. This is saying you can make this happen with this effort. You can move this forward. But if you get this far and somebody hands something back with communication and you're like, you know what, that's not quite the flavor I was looking for. That's not quite the thing I wanted from this. Allow it to stop and create something different. Don't feel like you're stuck with it. Just because you put in so much effort and you got this far and you're like, all right, I've been putting in this effort and they're giving me feedback now, but now that they're giving me feedback, this really isn't the flavor I thought it was. It's not bad, but it's not as good. So it's kind of like, if I'm going to equate it to vegetables, you know what I mean? Maybe you wanted broccoli and you're ending up with, asparagus. And you're like, I'm not against asparagus, but I really wanted broccoli. Are you going to settle for the asparagus, or are you going to hold out and get the broccoli? That's the question. You don't have to stick with it. That's what they keep reminding with this one. You can move it forward. It's going to take some effort, but they're saying when you get to this part where it starts to really form and starts to go where you want it to, just double check with yourself. Evaluate it yourself. Do that little quick self-audit. Now that it's kind of going where I want it to, am I sure I really want this? Because with the pentacle energy coming in here, if it does lock in, it will lock in for quite a long time. When you see it coming back your way, pay attention to how it communicates to you to make sure that this really does suit your needs. Just because you could have it doesn't mean you should have it. Well, just because you could have it doesn't mean you actually want it, is what I think I should say with that. So be sure it's the flavor you want if you start making it happen. You do have the right to change your mind. Remember that. You always have the right to change your mind. All right, I think we're there for this one. Of course, if this is hitting and you're looking for more information, feel free to check other videos out on my channel. Maybe if your astrological sign, or maybe the person or situation's astrological sign, maybe the time that you got this offer, whatever that was, when you got this information, you might want to check what sign that was in. Of course, you can email me for a reading. It's jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. It's below, along with the donation information if you're interested. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and now I'm going to go into the star read. I apologize for the audio on this part. At some point I realized that the audio did not take from the camera. I don't know why. So the voice might be a little off. Here we're starting with this part of the reading for those who chose the star. You can see in the left corner there, you have the 8 of Pentacles. So there's been some work on this situation. Work has been going on here, and it's going to lead to a lot more work. But whatever you're dealing with in the environment, the top part up there is the environment, that is deciding what they want to do next, and it's coming up to the Magician spot. That spot in the bottom where I just dragged my finger, that's where your influence is coming in, just so you know. Let's see. I know we went a little bit farther on this because the Magician moving forward here is saying that they haven't made any decisions yet. And it has to be one of those things where you have to decide if this is something you really want to do, because the door is kind of open, but they may not be looking at you or looking at you as a viable option, at least not with sincerity. When we get back to this card right here, the Magician, you're going to see that it's going to lead to a lot more work. The question is this worth your time? Is this really going to make what you want out of it? All right, so as we keep going forward here, I'm hoping we're going to put more cards down in a second. Again, I apologize. I noticed afterwards that the audio didn't come in. So there's a random element here. Something about this is probably making you feel like you're not being taken seriously, or they're just not really looking at you or not really pulling in your energy. That 3 of Swords right over the Magician in the center there, where you can see the 2 people in the umbrella, that's where I'm centering on as I'm watching this the second time. You may feel like you don't really have a chance here. And you may feel like this is too random and I can't seem to find my way to get into it. And it's something you've decided that you want to get into, obviously. To get into this situation, over to the right, when you're viewing this, you'll see that's the Queen of Wands, I believe. For some reason, it's coming in a little fuzzy. I apologize for that too. Looking at this situation, you have to put in more effort, not in the sense of like showing you're interested, but they need to see the proof is in the pudding. They need to see physical effort from you. And I feel like at this moment, it's kind of like you're nervous that if you put in this effort, it's going to go unnoticed, or it's not what they want, or it's just kind of like giving into something that's not really taking you seriously. When I get the temperance on the top there, which is the environmental connection, I'm getting that sincere action forward is going to actually help you. It's going to move you forward, and they're going to actually respond to that more than actual communication. In the center here, where I'm pointing at the King of Swords, they've already heard people talk about things. They've already heard about the situation. Nothing that you can say is really going to move them forward in any type of like, I haven't heard that before type energy. It's like, oh, I've heard this before, or I've heard that before, but proof is in the pudding. So even if, for example, if you wanted to be a part of a school, or you're a teacher and you're trying to be considered as a viable permanent person at the school, you have to show your actual physical effort. It may be one of those things where you have to kind of volunteer, or I shouldn't say have to, or you could find a way to get involved with stuff before you actually have a permanent standing. When they can see how you actually move and what you actually do, that will actually give them a serious connection with you. As I flip this older card here in the past, one of the things that the King of Swords is looking at is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is the Thief card. Other people have showed interest and talked a great game, but they seriously haven't given what they needed to give to the situation. And because they did not give to the situation, there's kind of a tainted feel to this situation. The King of Swords is kind of like, I don't want to waste my time with more people who are just going to give me a good show, tell me a good story. I need to see physical proof. I want to see the proof is in the pudding. I want to see what people are going to do. I want to see them actually show me what they're going to do and prove to me that my time is worth their effort. If I didn't say that backwards, or vice versa. As it keeps going forward, there's going to be a lot more work that goes into this situation. So starting off with this effort is actually going to help you, because it's just going to get you acclimated to what this situation is actually needing. This situation will require a lot of effort going forward. So when you start off showing how much effort you're willing to put into it, I don't think that that's going to fall back. I feel like that's going to stay that level from this point forward if you decide this is for you. Again, this is how to make sure this works for you, or how to make this happen, how to help make this happen. But if you get in at this level, the level won't come down. It's going to be expected from here on out. That might not be something you're wanting. So keep that in mind before you step forward on this. You can definitely make this happen from what I'm getting, but be sure that you're okay with that level of commitment. Sometimes it's okay to like have moments where you kind of move forward and you have to have extra effort, but when it's constantly like that, it could be draining or overwhelming. Here in the past, you're seeing, you are correct. Yes, you are correct. I apologize. That came in really fuzzy. I don't know why this camera is so fuzzy with that. And the King of Swords keeps looking back like he is completely right. You can't trust people. People have to show you what they're going to do. You can't believe in what people say, and is not completely interested in people who just talk a good game. And don't get caught up in the gender. It doesn't have to be a male. It could be any gender. But when they keep looking back, they're just kind of like, until somebody shows me hard proof that they're actually worth my time, I'm not going to put my time into this situation. I'm not going to do it. That it does kind of put you behind the eight ball a little bit, makes it a little bit more difficult for you to move forward. But I do get that, like, through action, you do get that advantage, because not everybody's willing to put in the action before they actually get whatever it is they're looking for from this person. So you putting in the action first does give you that movement forward. It gives you a leg up, if you will. We're seeing the Temperance card there again. What's here? Okay. So I remember both of these cards just kind of coming in saying, be sure you want this. If you're not seeing the option, you're not seeing the opportunity to prove what you're worth, or prove that you have the ability to move this forward, or that you have the physical energy to do this, don't worry. The universe is saying, especially if you say it to them, you can say it in your mind if you want. You just put that energy out there that you want the opportunity to show that you have what it takes, and that you're going to put this in. This effort is going to be sustainable. They'll bring forward the opportunity. Just keep an eye out for it. I can't read the other one with the doves on it and the rainbow, but the your prayers are being answered. Both of them seem to back up the same thing, that it's going to bring in. They're going to bring it in for you. I know that there's something with that butterfly too. I'm trying to remember what we were talking about, because the butterfly on that card over to the right, there's those little signs above it. Like there's a lot coming in. There's a lot of work, but even though the situation is going to keep evolving and changing, I feel like they keep warning that the level of commitment, the energy that it takes to keep going will still be there. It may be you're doing different things today, tomorrow, the next day, but it's going to be constant effort, constant effort. It's not going to pull back. That's really what's going to move you in. That's going to actually give you the leg up on the situation, give you the advantage. Other people are definitely going to fall away. You may find that some people follow your lead on this. It's the staying power, that's going to get you to move forward the way you want. All right, and I think that's what we have for this one. Thank you very much. Hello, this is for the people who chose the pumpkin right here with a little cream slice in it. Let's see what we got for you for what can I do to help make this happen. Okay, so the way I read this is the center line is what's actually happening. The top part here is what's coming in from other people or the environment. And the bottom here is your contribution and how you connect. I do from past to the future. It's kind of like going that way. Oh, that jumped right out. That was interesting. So this one, you may not know that this one's got to be like that. It jumped right out. That was interesting. So the information is faulty. Whatever you know about this situation, there's something that's off. There's something that's not right. Part of this is saying you need to get more information to be sure you really want this. Because I also get that whatever this is going to kind of get stuck in its spot. There's certain things that are not known to everybody. If you can get on the inside of the Seven of Wands, if you can be this person on the Seven of Wands, you have a chance to make this happen. But I'm also getting you kind of need to know what that is before you choose to sit in that chair. That Seven of Wands energy that I keep focusing on here is where we're going. Seven of Wands is typically, where you're not letting other things influence you. You're keeping outside influences out. It's that mirrored, it's like that bubble outwards. Like everything stays on the outside of that bubble. You need to know what's on the inside. You can know what's on the inside without being able to affect it. That seems to be fine. You can clearly see there's a lady sitting here. But with this situation, you're looking to be on the inside of this bubble. You need to know what's in there before you actually get yourself into that situation. Because I get it seems like a very secretive, like there's a lot of secrets here. Be sure you want to keep these secrets because I'm getting the two of these together. Whatever it is, there's something faulty. Something looks like something it isn't. Like it's making it seem like it's like when you see those, like you see a toaster online and then they use a knife and they cut into it and it's actually a cake, or you see like something's a plant and then they cut into it and it's actually a cake. It reminds me of those videos, if that makes sense. Let's get a little bit more information here going forward. There's more than this side. There's a block for you. Is that the Ace of Pentacles? No, that is the World card. The Devil's showing up here too. Okay. It's not funny. It's not. Okay. I shouldn't laugh because I'm like, they're just saying, you're viewing it in a certain way. And whatever this is, I feel like it's not showing you what it really is. Something isn't quite right. I think that's the 9, if I can look at it a little bit. The 9 of Pentacles here. Somebody is like letting things be seen the way you see it. I feel like somebody kind of knows, especially with the Star card. It jumped right out of my hand. There's like saying, be careful. Something here is letting you see what they want you to see, and the Two of Swords is telling me you don't really understand what's going on here. Something is not as it seems. Like, especially the way this card and this, it's like this, it's almost like this little curve here, if you can see that, the way I'm looking at it. It's like a shield. It's kind of like you can't see the past, or there's only certain things you can see that they're allowing. They're keeping you on the outside from knowing the truth. I feel like they're saying, research this a little bit more Make sure that this actually is something you want, because I do get that you can have it. I'm just getting be sure you want it, because the world is coming in. And the world to me is a whole new phase. Like, but once you step into it, life is never the same. It's a whole new phase, but it's kind of like having a kid. Once you have one, your life is never the same. It just, you always have that in your life. You're like, I don't know how to say it. It's like once you graduate high school, like you don't go back and do it again. It's you're going into a whole new phase of life, stuff like that. It makes me a little uncomfortable with that devil there, because I feel like somebody's trying to entice you in. Like right here, this one, it's like they're trying to, like, come on in, Mr. Pumpkin, Mr. and Mrs. Pumpkin, or whoever pumpkin, non-binary pumpkin, whatever you are. They're saying, come on in. We want you, because once we get you there, they're going to try to keep you there, is what I'm getting. I feel like I'm being snaked in. I feel like I'm being, like, lured in. All right, so we have some of these. What does that say? Take control of your thoughts. Yeah. Before you get too deep, like, I feel like this is like a warning. This is like something is off. When you get the Pray from the Heart card, I'm getting like, make sure that you're aligned with what you truly want. Make sure that this situation is aligned with what you truly want. It may look great. This reminds me of when somebody dates that person and they're like, oh my God, they're perfect, they're beautiful, they have that great job, all the money, blah, 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 blah. And then you find out 2 years later that they're nightmare behind the scenes. You know what I mean? They're this horrible person behind the scenes. They look great in public. They have that perfect looks, the perfect money, the perfect car, the perfect house. Everything is great, 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 great. Then you get behind the scenes, you find out 2 years later, this person's a complete abusive nightmare. That's what they're saying. Be careful. This looks great. This looks wonderful. Yeah, it does. But make sure this is aligned with what you really want in life. I'm going to move that up here. Somebody's trying to get your interest. They're trying to balance this. They're trying to make you think this is what you really want, that this is really going to work for you. Look at it a little closer. Also, just as a fair warning, even if you get into this, you don't have to stick with it, whatever it is. You do have the ability to make a choice. It just seems like it's a lot harder to make the choice later than it is now. It's a lot easier now to make your decision on what you actually want to do. If you get here going forward and you're like, oh, okay, I got into this, and now that I'm seeing it, I'm actually not wanting it. First thing you got to do is make sure you have control. And the first thing to know that you have control is understand that you have free will. You have free will. Even if somebody says you have no choice, you're just stuck. The first part is to have your control of your thoughts and to realize there is something here. Maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe I can't find it by myself, but I can at least, at the very least, help myself find someone who can give me the answers. You don't have to be stuck in this. You don't have to go. This is not the last chance for you either, by the way. So, for example, if it's some of you people that are looking at this, like maybe this is my last chance at the rodeo, I'm getting it's not. I'm getting with this card that it's not. You don't have to be stuck with this. Just be sure that this is really what you want. I keep feeling like this one, people who chose this one, I feel like they're giving you a warning. Like, be really, really careful. Be very, very sure that you actually want this. Can you get out of this later? Yes, but it's going to be a lot harder. It kind of reminds me of like if you're moving house from one place to another. It's kind of like right now you have the car and the means to get things moved very easily if you decide you don't want to do this. Versus like a couple months from now, maybe you don't have a car anymore and there's nobody around to help you, so you have to hoof it. You have to pick it all up, walk it across to the new location, and it's going to be a lot heavier, a lot harder because you have to carry it by foot. Is it doable? Yeah. Is it going to be a lot harder? Yeah. If you think about a 5 mile, just if it was 5 miles apart, taking a car, moving things back and forth 5 miles versus like having to carry it, in bags on foot. Think of it that way. They're saying, yes, you can change it later, but it's going to be a lot harder. That's a very interesting one, how this one went. Also, keep in mind, on my channel, I do a lot of astrological readings for different signs. If your sign or somebody you're dealing with, if you're questioning that, you might be able to click on one of those readings to get a little bit more insight. Just click on a random one, whatever looks good to you. Of course, you can email me for a reading, James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. That's james4astral@gmail.com. That's below. Also below is the donation information if you're interested. Same email, of course. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.